Greetings and salutations, this is Emperor Vespasian and his trusty sidekick.
Hello.
Today we're bringing you the Imperial Japanese Navy Special Navy Landing Force, or SNLF. If you buy the box it says SNLF on it, which is awesome. They're basically specially trained elite soldiers designed to assault. They're the first wave guys. They're specially trained for naval landing and for airborne operations. If you land gliders, then these are the guys that come out of the gliders. The parachutists are slightly different. If you look at our parachute video, these guys fight alongside the paratroopers. And they're also trained to land in special operations and also operate. You've gone really strange. And and they're also trained to operate behind enemy lines by being dropped and behind enemy lines and cause all sorts of trouble. Yeah, they're actually quite interesting soldiers. Figure-wise, they're brilliant because when you get the box, they're the same figures that you get in the normal box, but they have these awesome gas masks fitted to them. These little gas masks on the back, just here. And the officers, all the heads are different. You've got the different heads, and they're awesome. And you've got that's the lead figure with the sash. They're brilliant little figures, and we really enjoy playing with them, don't we?
Well, we hardly use them. We normally use paratroopers and normal ordinary infantry.
Yeah, when we do have these in the fort board, we enjoy playing with them. That's what I'm saying.
Only because they wipe the floor over with because they're veteran.
Yeah, that's basically what I just said. Yeah, they are completely awesome. Downside to buying the figures on the battlefield is you can only buy them as veterans, which will put you back a considerable amount of points. But they're worth it. They're definitely worth it. Special rule-wise, they are fanatics, as are all Japanese soldiers. They have the bonsai special rule, which means they don't have to pass a morale test to charge. Night fighting, they have muzzle and flash suppressants, so they don't make any sound. You can hear the cough of the gun, but you can't tell.
See smoke or the light where it came from.
Yep. The officer gets +1 attack because he carries a sword. Yes, that's actually a thing.
Yeah, I know.
And we also upgraded these guys with anti-tank grenades, which are, for the Japanese, they're grenades which are a bit like a Roman plumbata. You throw it in the air and the little fins on it make it go downwards, and it lands in the back of a tank where the weakest armour is, the roof, and blows straight through the tank. Very effective anti-tank weapons.
Yeah.
Very effective, and you don't have to actually stand next to a tank to make it fit. So they don't use magnetic mines and stuff. They tended to just throw these things. Very effective. And it showed because Japan stormtrooped its way across of most of the Pacific, so they did particularly well. And this is one of the reasons. They're extremely well trained troops, extremely well equipped. All these guys are fitted with gas masks. All the kit comes with them. All the kit's made out of lead, and you just stick it onto the base. So they have a gas mask, which is a cool little model. The Japanese did use gas masks because they did use gas. They're the only army to actually use gas in the Second World War officially.
Well, everyone had gas masks.
Yeah.
Every soldier had a gas mask.
Yeah, but the Japanese actually needed to wear them because they did gas the Chinese.
Well, the Japanese and the Chinese been fighting for a while before World War One. World War Two, sorry.
Yes.
So
yeah.
they never really liked each other.
Japan started the war in 1937. So the war had gone on for a few years before the war officially started, and quite a few years before America decided to turn up late.
Yeah, they do that often, don't they?
Well, yeah, the Americans tend to turn up late, but they tend to finish it.
Yes.
See, without the Americans turning up, we'd have lost.
Well, even if they were there from the very beginning, we would have lost.
No, yes, actually, we may have done, because then the Americans would have been in the line of fire and wouldn't have had time to prepare for the war. So
by the time they joined, all the veteran troops were dead. And they were fighting at inexperienced or regular.
Yeah, Japan lost a lot of its veteran fighters in China, and that's really where it went wrong for them.
I mean, I played Battle Simulator.
Yeah.
And I played Thailand. And when I started mowing through China, suddenly Japan appeared halfway through China, nicking all the stuff. So I guess if someone helped Japan in its struggle against China, something would have turned out a little differently.
Well, if Japan could have come to an agreement with Russia, but then again, what would the Russians have wanted in return? Russia did have problems of its own, remember?
Yeah, they were suffering from Germany mowing through its land.
Yeah. And bear in mind,
Poland, obviously.
Russia didn't invade Poland until it had the treaty signed with Japan, because Stalin didn't want to fight on both sides. So Russia delayed going to war with Poland.
Yeah, but even as soon as Germany was defeated, Russia went straight, without even warning the Japanese who couldn't go to war with them, just went straight after.
Just invaded them.
It's just a little high note.
Yeah, and they took out the Kwantung Army, which was theoretically Japan's most powerful army, and that ended the war.
How many casualties did the Russians suffer from that?
Quite a few. It wasn't exactly one-sided, but the Russians overwhelmingly outnumbered the Japanese. They had about 4 million men.
So did the 100,000 people in
Philippines.
Yeah.
Anyway, these are the guys who you are going to be getting if you're going to be doing the Philippines campaign. In fact, most campaigns, these guys would turn up. They are officially assigned to the Navy, so would only fight really in the
shores. Or
not just the shores, the islands and campaigns like that. In the depths of China, there was a lot of riverine warfare up the big river, the Yalu. So they did make an appearance around there. Shanghai, Nanking, the same troops you find there. And of course the Malayan campaign as well. There were specialist trained soldiers, and there were troops like these available for the whole Japanese army as well. Just didn't wear the same uniform, but so you can use them you classify them as specialist troops. The Japanese did have a very well trained military. Weapon wise, well, we've equipped this platoon as a full strength Japanese platoon. So we've got 3 squads of each made up of 5 men, each 5-man fire team. One of them's got the officer, trumpeter, SMG and 2 riflemen. The other one's got a light machine gun and rifles, and light machine gun and rifles. So it's a full strength 15-man squad. And what would often happen, as I explained in my other video we did about these, is the Japanese would swap out one of the machine guns for a mortar and form the machine guns into a separate machine gun unit. So all the machine guns would be, from all the different platoons, would be in one machine gun unit, which would be a huge firepower, a sort of a unit of just machine guns, which would be quite effective.
Or if you're fighting a battle where they have more tanks than infantry, mortars would be more important.
Yes.
Than machine guns.
Although it is a grenade launcher, that particular mortar. The Type 89 is a grenade launcher.
Better than machine gun against a tank. Or tank out.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, it is actually they're actually quite good troops. They're veterans, so they're hard to kill. You need a 5+ to kill them, and they're pretty well armed. They're quite well armed. Whereas the army we have equipped more or less the same. In reality, many of the units would not be full paper strength, and they wouldn't have all the equipment. Whereas these guys probably would have the equipment because they did get a pick of what was available. They often operated with light tanks as well, amphibious tanks. So there'd always be a few tanks knocking around, which is always handy. Especially if beach defenders don't have tanks, which mostly they didn't.
And why would you? Why would you expect an invasion from shore when you're currently concerned about something else?
Well, according to British intelligence, the Japanese had no tanks.
According to British intelligence, there was now going to be an invasion.
Yes, and it took it took the British intelligence completely by surprise when the Japanese turned up with 300 tanks on the beaches and wiped out the British army. It was very shocking to them.
Was it the British army with shots?
Yes.
The army.
Yeah, Malaya. Absolutely.
And then most of them, as they ran away, died in malaria. Nice one.
Unbelievably stupid. But that's it, you know. I mean, any sensible human being would work stuff out. The Japanese did. That's why they wore pooties. They have little pooties on there, little feeties, little pooties. They're basically strips of cloth you wrap around the bottom of your trousers, and it stops your feet going mouldy, and it stops things, the brambles and stuff on the ground from making little cuts in your body.
Or tearing your shoes apart.
Yeah, tearing your shoes apart, and it stops you getting malaria.
And because what happened a lot with the army defending the Philippines, their soles used to come off the feet.
Oh yeah.
So their shoes are useless.
The British army wore ammunition boots.
Ammunition boots.
Yeah, which are great for marching across roads in Europe.
What?
Normal
roads?
Yes, normal roads, metallised roads. But when they got to the Far East, after 2 days of walking, their boots fell off.
Yep.
So the British army was fighting barefoot in the jungle.
Is it
in
more
shorts.
lethal?
Yeah, in shorts.
So meaning you're saying from basically the knees all the way down, it's completely vulnerable to malaria.
And you're covered in little cuts and stuff.
And little bleachers and stuff like that.
Yeah, you get malaria, which is why so many British soldiers died in captivity. Because they were dying of malaria.
That's why they say the Japanese killed them. To cover up, they actually send them in shorts.
Statistically, you were more likely to survive in a Japanese prisoner of war camp than you were in a British prisoner of war camp.
All you do is tell the Japanese everything they want. You have dish fit for a king.
Well, not quite, but...
well, it depends who is actually taking you hostage.
Well, the Canadians that were taken prisoner, they were taken to Japan to work. And they lived out the war in Japan working.
That's my dream, to work in Japan.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to work the way they did.
What, slave labour?
Yeah, slave labour.
The prisoners of war.
Yeah, but yeah, basically. We didn't tend to put prisoners to work, we just shot them.
Yeah, I'm about to say that. I surrender!
We took some Germans prisoner.
Like at D-Day, when the Germans tried to surrender, we just machine gunned them all.
Yeah.
No, the 5-man people in the pillbox. Not like people defending.
Yeah. I mean, when the Japanese attacked, that they would try and limit enemy casualties. And I'm not being funny. That was actually their combat doctrine. The whole the whole point of the banzai charges and going around the edge.
It's so they don't lose as many casualties and they don't get pulled back for long.
Yeah, and they surround the enemy. It's called what's it called? It's a Japanese thing. No, I can't remember. But it's basically pincers. The idea is that you pin your enemy here. That's where your enemy is pinned. And while they're pinned in combat, the other troops go around the flank and come in the rear. And the enemy either retreat or surrender. And that's basically 101 Japanese combat doctrine. And it works. It works very well. Worked brilliantly in China, but China, just like Russia, is too big. There's so many Chinese, you just can't kill that many people. The Japanese took millions of prisoners in China, and it didn't make any difference. They still lost. But yeah, that's the...
The thing is about this, the population of China is 1,413,000,000.
Not at the time.
Well, now it is.
Yeah. At the time it was...
Hasn't China lifted the law on how many babies you can have?
Oh yeah, they abolished that years ago.
Yeah, I thought it did because I remember getting taught about it in year 7.
Yeah, they abolished the cap on childbirth years ago. For ethnic Chinese anyway. Not
people
for...
say it was evil that they did, but they need to stop people carrying babies because the population is getting so big, there's too many mouths to feed.
Yeah, and China isn't a welfare state, so...
I mean, it's a big country.
Yeah.
But with that many people, it's kind of a small country.
But if you have a large amount of children, they cost a large amount of money.
Yeah. And we have one.
It takes 25 years for a baby to become productive.
Well,
so
not 25. Sometimes it's 20.
It's, 25 years, economists plus 25 years.
25, 20 to 18.
Before you start making... No, when you're 18, you don't make that much money. You're not paying that much tax. So...
I know. My brother, who's so shocked when he found out. Yeah. So he got his pay slip.
His first 2 weeks at work.
Yes. Looked at it.
I've been taxed! How dare they take money off me?
So,
it's my money! I earned it and they've just taken it away!
And what do you say to him?
It's life.
Yeah.
You get used to it.
I was like, but I work for that money!
No, it's simple. You work and give money to the government because they can't be bothered to work. And if you don't give them money, they send you to prison, ultimately. They give you fines, they give you court orders, take your property off you, and if at the end you can't pay, they put you in prison where you will be molested by people.
Before that, they give you a envelope saying, what's the name? It's like urgent, do now, something like that.
Oh, they did that to us. Yeah, they did our tax form. They calculated our tax form.
Oh, I heard that now. Wasn't that just like last year?
Yeah, we paid them. We said, here's money you asked for, thank you. And then, beginning of this year, we got a letter from the government, just out of the blue, saying, you owe us this money, pay us or you will be taken to court and have your car taken off you and we'll set fire to your house and have you all shot. And it's like, well, look, I don't mind. Fine, if you've made a mistake and miscalculated my tax, then just contact me and say, excuse me, we've made a mistake, you've got to pay more. Well, fine, I'll pay it. It's the fact that they started...
The amount wants to pay, though, double.
They started with threats. It wasn't, excuse me, we've made a mistake.
No, one, it's the government, they do what they want.
Yeah, but the point is, it wasn't a matter of, excuse me, we've made a mistake, can you pay us more money? It was a matter of, we've made a mistake, give us the money now or we'll do you. We'll come round to your house and break your fingernails.
That's so surprising. That's the exact same thing you said when you read the notes.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I said. And I had words, rather harsh words, with a certain government official, and in the end they wrote it off. They said, all right, it's our fault, we'll leave it.
You always have harsh words with
I do have harsh words with government officials. I don't have much respect for people who work.
See you on Twitter.
Oh, that's just Twitter. That's what Twitter's for. I mean, the whole point of Twitter is to just go on there and just troll people. Well, no, troll idiots. Troll stupid people. Yes. You know, if the Second World War would have been much better if we'd have had Twitter. Because then we'd have just insulted each other a lot and then there would have been no fighting. So Hitler would have just gone, I don't like you Polish people, lol.
Lol. I love to see how Hitler say lol.
And the Polish would have said, FYI, you've got a stupid moustache.
FYI.
And they'd have had an argument and it would have been in the papers and then everyone would talk about it on YouTube and then it would all have been sorted out.
BTW, I took Poland.
Yeah, well, lol. You and whose army? Mine. Yeah.
Mr. Hitler's.
Yes. I think it would have been much easier if everyone would have just chilled out. But hey,
on Twitter or Facebook. Facebook would have banned you actually. Banned the Hitler.
No, yeah. Facebook would have banned you from questioning Hitler's tactics. How dare you question the German invasion of Poland? I will delete your account. Twitter will probably bar you from Twitter for saying that Hitler's rounding people up and putting them in camps. And it's you know, that's how these things work. And eventually Germany would have won. So actually, no, it wouldn't have been a good thing if Twitter would have been around. It's a good thing it wasn't. Yeah, it's a good thing we fought the war. Yeah, so thank God we didn't have Facebook. I would have lost. I was wondering what side you were on. Yeah, no.
You're kind of in favour of Hitler.
I've just realised what I did there. Yeah, totally slipped up there.
You might brush your teeth now. Have some mouthwash.
Yeah, I will do. But yeah, all hail Zuckerberg. The new Stasi minister. But hey, look, these guys are brilliant models. Rush out immediately and buy them. They're awesome. I'm sure if you've got a Japanese army, you're going to be getting some of these anyway. I painted them in the dark green, which you can see, with the light green, sort of a light green khaki for the highlighting, and the helmet was in a sort of khaki. It was an overcover, but it was khaki. If you go online, just look at some Japanese museums. Most of the Japanese museums, the Chinese museums are online, and you can look at the actual uniforms and kit all laid out in display cases. You might not be able to read what it says, but there is a translator. And you'll be able to find out the actual kit that they were wearing and get the right colours. I was quite surprised to find that the water bottle was bright green. That actually surprised me. I didn't know that. That's like really random.
You painted it?
No, I mean when I did the painting for the figures.
Oh yeah.
The bright green water bottle. It's a stupid.
No, because we have our national museum, which is called the British Museum.
The British Museum, yes.
Does every country have a national museum, which is like named their country, like ours?
Pretty much, yeah.
Japan Museum. Sorry, but British Museum just sounds like it's meant to be there. But when you say Japan Museum or Japanese sounds better actually.
Yeah. If you go to Germany, there's a big museum there, and over the door it says "We are sorry."
What?
It's not true, actually. I just thought.
Well, sorry, I didn't see what country that was.
Germany.
Germany. Yeah.
I get annoyed when I meet people online who are German, and they're all sort of, yes, we were really bad in the war. It's like, dude, it wasn't you that did it. It wasn't your parents that did it. It was your grandparents. Get over it. Like, we had the British Empire. Wasn't that nice? You know what? I never conquered a country.
You should feel bad for British history.
No, I don't feel bad for British history. I'm quite happy that we taught most of the world to read and write, you know?
But no, because then we left the word country.
Yeah, and it turned into a crap.
And it still is.
Yeah, as soon as
we give them water aid today.
Yeah, as soon as the Europeans leave, it's, oh, you give me shiny things, or I
shoot
blow stuff up. Yeah, give me shiny thing now. I can't bother to make it myself. I've got all these natural resources. I sit on top of a lithium mine, which is one of the most expensive metals in the world. So give me money, give me food, give me things. Look, you idiot, learn to mine. The books, Wikipedia exists, you know? Yeah, there are engineering books you can buy from bookstores. They're not that expensive. You can learn how to build this stuff.
I wouldn't believe Wikipedia.
The history stuff's usually alright, although someone's been editing some history things, especially about the suffragette movement and stuff. Very strange that some of the stuff's been edited out of what went on. I don't know why they're doing that. That's really random. I went on the other day reading about one of the suffragettes, and they omitted certain key things that had happened. But hey, look, that's Wikipedia for you. Personally, I think Wikipedia needs a little bit more people taking an interest in what it says.
Yeah. The people should do it.
There's the way of editing it for a reason. And citations are so important. Put your citations down. Don't just say random stuff, especially if it's about history stuff or World War stuff. Where's your citations? You can't just say Japanese did this. No citation.
Dad did this cause my dad said so.
Oh, I watched it on a documentary on Discovery Channel.
Hey, they actually tell the truth.
Yeah, actually Discovery's not too bad. Depends who makes it.
Some people just do it for money.
Well, if you rely on the history on MTV, you're screwed.
MTV?
Yeah, because their concept of reality is completely the opposite of what everyone else lives in.
Yeah, we turned on Music Channel and all it was Beyonce, and Grande, and Beyonce again, and it was Taylor Swift, and it was Ellie Goulding, and then there was some other random people we never seen before in our whole lives.
Actually, we didn't know if it was Ellie Goulding or not. We couldn't tell.
No, I couldn't tell. It's not cool. It
might have been.
I
don't know who these people are anyway. Look, music died with the death of Beethoven. Just get over it.
Was he?
You did not just say that.
I know him.
Thank you.
Behind the scenes, me and blood all
We're back to that stick again, aren't we?
and then nailed on my forehead is stupid idiot was here.
I don't think you're a stupid idiot. I just think you're badly educated.
You're just saying that on the video.
Yeah, I am. Well, as soon as I turn the video off, I'll start shouting at you.
I have to press record behind you.
Yes. So anyway, these are the figures. We have talked for a considerable amount of time about rubbish. But hey, look, that's our channel.
I know, 25 minutes.
This is just our channel. If you want to watch a video just about the actual figures, then...
Find someone else.
Yeah. No, look, we intend to make videos just about the figures, but given that there's all this other stuff, there's lots of interesting stuff that goes on, and we just talk about stuff. And that's just
I was using reverse psychology. You using actual telling them what to do.
Yes. But that's just it. And wargaming's awesome. And wargaming is
your life.
Well, actually, it is. This is what I do for a living now.
Yeah.
But wargaming is a very interesting, harmless pursuit, and it teaches you about your past. And if it teaches you about your past, you know where you're going in the future. Which is why I am unbelievably pessimistic about the future at the moment. Because I know where it's going, because I've seen it happen again and again and again.
You're always pessimistic.
Yeah, I was told by my tutor that I was the most pessimistic person he'd ever met on the first day.
It's like comment down below what's pessimistic.
Oh, we've got Wikipedia and Google.
Look,
Google it. Just Google is a click away. Why do people ask questions like that? People do that. I don't ever understand that about videos. You get YouTube videos of people say, "What do you mean by that?"
Well,
Google it. You have the internet.
It's called wanting a YouTuber who might be famous in the future. Wink, wink. You.
Oh, I don't think I'll ever be famous. I'm just doing this for fun. Yeah. I mean, we do figures for a living. That's what we do for a job. And it's weird. It's a very strange job to have. But you do what you're good at. And this is about the only thing I am good at.
Why do this then? I'm not good at this.
I'll throttle you.
You can't say that.
But like what you're good at, you now have a job in a museum. I mean, that's what you're good at. So yeah, it's magnetic.
It's cool, isn't it?
You see, this is what happens behind the scenes. Look, I'll show you. This is what happens behind the scenes.
Right.
He finds things to stick the GoPro to.
What?
Yeah, that's what he does.
What's wrong? I can do what I want.
Yeah, and this is the gaming room as a whole. I just thought I'd do this, and that's a new project we're working on, which is really awesome. And if you look at this,
no.
I just the roof comes off. Yeah, they're Vikings, by the way.
I got that.
But that's that, and in case you haven't noticed before, that there's Nazi Daleks.
No.
Oh no, Daleks are Nazis. That's what they're actually Nazi Daleks. That's what they are. And Cybermen are communists. The BBC was very subtle in those days. The Daleks went around saying, exterminate, 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 Nazis. And the Cybermen went around saying, you will be like us, you will be like us. Communists. See? There's Nazis and communists. It's all Doctor Who is basically a show about Nazis and communists. And I don't know, what does that make the Doctor?
Well, the Ood.
The Ood, well, they were a slave race. So they were a race captured, the brain Ood was captured. And why am I explaining this to you? You should know this. You know
I
this.
don't like Doctor Who. I'm out of this room,
right,
I'm off.
That's it. I'm getting a divorce. Is it too late to get an abortion?
Well, see, there's more subtle ways to have a divorce. Well, you could be killing your child.
Yes, with an axe. Anyway, that is the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching. Please leave any comments you would like. And we have been rather random at the moment, but that's because our whole life is upside down and we're just enjoying it. So, thank you very much for watching. It's goodbye from me.
And yeah, I haven't done the outro. Oh, and goodbye from him. No.
Goodbye. Leave comments and stuff.
Yeah.
And likes.
Yeah.
Like that. And tell all your friends.
The camera's about to die. Quick, turn it off now.
Bye.
Quick.